What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Cars on Camera podcast. This is episode 2. I appreciate y'all for all the positive feedback on the first episode with my friend Jackson out in El Garaje in Bernie, Texas. Today I got my friend Theron here with Caps Service and Repair. I knew that's the one thing I was working on, and I messed it up like I thought I would, but it's all good. I was really excited about this episode because I came by here and I actually talked to him. What was it, like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
We came by here, and it was a real good conversation. Everybody that knows me knows I'm very selective about the people I have on projects with me because this is something that I really care about, not just the podcast, but cars in general. So I'm real excited to be sitting here talking to you right now, man.
Cool.
Why don't you go ahead and give us a brief introduction of who you are and what you do.
My name's Theron. I own Cap Service and Repair here in Austin, Texas. We just hit our 7-year mark this month. Started this business just out of my garage at home. I worked in a ton of different shops and just finally decided, it was time to follow my dream and do my own thing and get into classic cars, which is
Nice.
what I live for. Always been into them. Going to rod runs as a little kid, and was just enamored by them, and was like, there's so much more style to them than what's out on the road now, and be able to be a part of keeping them on the road and making people's dreams come true with the cars. It's important to me.
Are you from out here in Austin?
No, I'm from Nebraska.
Okay, no, I think you told me that the first time we met.
Yeah.
Where you from?
Yeah, born in Wichita, Kansas.
Okay.
Raised in Columbus, Nebraska, which is my dad used to say it's not the middle of nowhere, but you can see it from there.
Nice.
But Nebraska has a pretty rich history with racing. Speedway Motors is from there.
Okay.
A lot of dirt track racing, drag racing, stuff like that my family was all involved in growing up. So.
Yeah, I remember you showing me some of the speed track racing when I first came up here. Was that something that got you into the cars?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to me to see. I think you showed me. Was that Hot Rod Magazine?
Yeah.
That was your dad on the cover of that, right?
With my cousin.
Your cousin, okay.
His first sprint car on the cover,
Nice.
August '68, and then my dad is he's sitting on the tire of
Okay,
the car
gotcha.
in the magazine. And he'd always told me about it, and I never really thought much about it. But then after he passed away, I started thinking about that magazine.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I want to hunt that down. I want to find it. And I got on just on eBay and started looking up, hot rod magazines from that era, and then I found it.
Nice.
And I got it for like $5, and it's one of my most prized possessions.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. As far as outside of a family and everything like that, what kind of led you to opening up this shop and some of the backstory behind it?
I'm kind of a guy that likes to do things his own way.
Right.
I've always been that way, and I just got tired of working for somebody else.
Yeah.
And I had kind of my own ideas of how I wanted this place to run. Not get too big, keep it well, tight knit.
Gotcha.
My crew I have here, I'm happy to see these guys every day, and I hope they feel that way about me.
Right.
Maybe not sometimes, but
They seem happy when I came in here. So.
And I'm really fortunate to have those guys here and do the work.
Right.
And I come in here some mornings and I can't believe it's mine.
Right.
Like this is my life. This is what I'm doing, and
Nice.
that not everybody gets to do that.
No.
So I feel very fortunate.
Oh,
in that
100%,
sense.
man. And
demand and supply are kind of an issue. We don't have a lot of space. We got 3,000 square feet,
right.
and we're out of room.
Yeah.
the cars keep coming, which is a good thing.
Exactly.
You know, I
Good
mean,
problem
it
to
says
have.
we're doing something all right.
Right.
You know, and I want to keep that ball rolling. So we may need at some point to get a bigger shop.
Yeah.
And that time will come.
Right.
You know.
That's, like I said, that's a good problem to have, man. Like it definitely shows in the work, in the cars that are around us right now. Like you guys definitely have, you know, fulfilled that purpose of making people's dreams come true with these cars. Like the 3100 behind us, that's our buddy Chance's car right there.
We'll get it done.
Yeah, it's up there.
Close. It's close.
I got my promise through. I told him I was gonna put it in the shot, so we had to get it in here. I got it. Where did the name for this place come? I remember you told me when
Cap was my grandfather.
Okay.
And he had a service station.
Okay.
And that's kind of where my dad and my cousin cut their teeth with race cars and causing all sorts of trouble.
Nice. You can't help but get in trouble.
It's good
with
trouble,
cars.
man.
Yeah,
it's good
for sure.
trouble.
For sure. You mentioned the shop size and things like that. Like, what do you feel are some of like the bigger challenges of running a service shop or repair shop? With both, like, I guess definitely speak on the classics for sure.
Yeah.
But even just like balancing that with new model stuff that comes in as well.
We do a lot of new model stuff, just because it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
People don't think that that the new cars or the old cars are easier than the new cars, because you can just plug a computer into it or whatever. You still have to diagnose the issue that's going on.
Right.
However, parts are readily more available. You can get them the same day.
Right.
They're not like a '56 Cadillac Eldorado that, you know, parts are unobtainable.
Yeah.
You know, without doing extensive research and calling people all over the country and all that, you know. So those take time. So we do the new model stuff to kind of just keep the ball rolling, keep the money coming in and doors open and lights on. Yeah,
for sure. I remember you telling me that the first time I came here, and it's interesting because I feel like any creative lane you take, there's always that balance of the thing that you love to do in your job and the thing that you actually absolutely have to do. And I feel like everybody has like that mix of like there are some things I have to do that I love. Yeah. And there's those things that I have to do that I was like, okay, I don't really want to do those things, but like you said, you have to do those things. Yeah. And I guess like finding the balance between that, how did you find how to balance those two scales?
Man, honestly, like I kind of painted myself in a corner with the classic stuff because I'd work on it, and there's not a lot of people that do. Right. And it's the stuff I love, and it kind of overtook the new model stuff. Yeah. You know, where we don't see a lot, well, as much of the new model stuff, as we do with the old. So I guess where the balance comes in is we got more old cars. Yeah, you just get more old cars. Yeah, they keep coming in.
And these days, ain't nothing wrong with it. Like, no. Anytime I see a place like that is actively putting old cars back on the road, and I know it's not necessarily a rare thing, but it is like one of those things that's still special. Yeah, yeah. Even though there's tons. We're in Austin, Texas. There's tons of old cars on the road, but it's still very special to me when I see a place that's still putting them out there. Yeah, still getting them back on the road.
Well, we were talking the other day. We had a 40 Oldsmobile come in that needed a clutch. Yeah. And it's like, where else are they gonna go? That's gonna, it's full like stock. Right. Who's gonna take the time to find that clutch? Right. Which you can't. Yeah. You have to send it off. Yeah. Canter in New Jersey. They reline it. So then you got a car you got to push around for a month. It's kind of like, I don't know, counterproductive, but just that we do that it's cool to me. Yeah.
And it's I mean, I say it over and over again, it's special. It really is special to me, because growing up, man, like I said, they were all around me, but I didn't see old cars being built, put back on the road, rebuilt, bought, sold, until I moved down here in around 2013. Yeah. And still to this day, I've been here for over 10 years now, and it still blows my mind how booming the car culture is just in general, not even just in this area, but in general. So many people still care about these cars, and it makes me happy.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, got to keep it classic, man.
Yeah.
we were literally just talking off camera about the classic, just the classic naturally aspirated engine versus the forced induction stuff.
Yeah,
and
cooler
how much even
because it's classic.
It's classic. It's
never
just,
go out of style.
It's just machines working, and you can't beat it, man.
Yeah.
It may not always be as efficient as new stuff is, but it's more efficient and having fun.
Those smiles per gallon.
That's all that matters right there. That's all that matters. And we just talked about the challenges, but what are some of the biggest like benefits and rewards from not just having your own business and working for yourself, but the biggest rewards of getting these classic cars back on the road?
Man, the giving it back to the customer.
Yeah.
When it's been a lengthy build from what they brought the car in, like whether it be non-running or not what they wanted from the get-go,
right? And
delivering something that is badass and what they wanted, like their vision. Handing them the keys and watching them drive off with it is, and the smile on their face every time, man. They're always stoked.
It can't get old, man.
Yeah, it doesn't, man.
It can't
it's
get
so
old.
Cool. It's really cool.
And you guys have I haven't been to every shop in this area, but you have like some variety in here as far as like old stuff that you don't just see like in the catalogs. You don't see them a lot, even just at shows and things like that. Like, what's probably the most like, as far as what you have in right now, what do you think is like the most unique thing that y'all are working on at the moment?
Man, probably that 62 Buick Skylark.
Yeah.
All aluminum 215.
That's the one I saw when I was up here.
Yeah, and that was my buddy from high school.
Okay.
Like, there's cigarette butts in the ashtray from 1998 still in there, from me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he hauled it down here. It hadn't run since 2001. And, you don't see that car.
Yeah.
And he's the second owner. And he brought it down last summer, and we got it running. And then it had a valve stick on it, and it flattened the cam lobe, and there was metal everywhere. So we had to yank it, send it to Houston. Fairman Racing Engines, they do a lot of our machine work. Okay. They're awesome, man. They got it all freshened up. We went to fire it up the other day, and the fuel pump took a shit. And that fuel pump's damn near impossible.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was about to say.
And so we're waiting on fuel pump should be here this week, and we're about ready to fire it back up. Yeah. And then send it back up to Nebraska to them.
When I came by here and I saw that, and you told me that it was a 215, I went and looked it up on YouTube, and I swear ever since then I get nothing but like quirky motor videos on my YouTube channel. What is the big thing behind like the engine? Like, what makes that engine so special?
It was just kind of an oddball thing that they did back then, like American automakers weren't really doing like aluminum blocks or heads even for that matter. They did it to keep the weight down, for fuel economy. And if I remember right, and I'll probably get corrected on this, Land Rover bought the rights for that motor. Yeah. And ended up using it for years. Okay, afterwards.
I've heard that too.
And it's pretty wild, man.
That's cool. I went to like I said, I went to look it up and everything, and I didn't even realize how many like European manufacturers weren't doing aluminum blocks at that time either. And so that right there is an interesting piece to have an American all aluminum V8. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, man.
Nice. Well, do you have like a big overall goal for Caps that hasn't been touched yet?
Man, I just want to keep going. Yeah. That's it.
That's the
like I want this business to be around after I'm gone. Yeah. Like I want my kid to take it over.
Yeah. I see her with you all the time. I see her with you all the time at car shows. I was like, she'll take it over for sure.
I don't know. Sure. I don't know if it. She's only 6, but
because when I see kids at car shows, man, they're trying to leave. Like she's chilling.
Yeah, she
is big chilling at every show I see her at. That's cool. That's the coolest thing ever right there,
Yeah,
man. Is to see
I love it.
the
You
family
know, I put
involved.
her in the 55, and
Yeah.
she loves it. Every
Nice.
time we go to leave somewhere, we take the Chevy.
Nice.
You know, like yeah.
Now the 55, that's the car that I think that's the first. I don't think I actually met you that day. I saw the 55, but Chance showed it to me, but he never like told me the story behind it. What's the deal behind the 55?
So when I was, I don't know, probably 12 or 13, I saw
Mhm.
two-lane blacktop for the first time, and
Mhm.
I became obsessed with
Yeah.
55s. And I was 16, just about 17, and I went to a car show
Mhm.
in my hometown, and it was sitting there, had a for sale sign in it, and I wrote the number down on my hand,
Mhm.
and went home, told my dad about it, and because he, you know, growing up, he was always telling me about all his old cars he had,
Mhm.
you know, and racing and everything, and then going to the sprint car races every
Yeah.
weekend, you know. I wanted to hot rod,
Yeah.
and I had a Pontiac Grand Am I was driving at the time, and so I tell my dad about it, and he's like, "Well, call him up, see what he wants for it,"
Mhm.
you know. And this was 1995, so 55s weren't, you know, they
Yeah.
didn't go for as much as they go for now.
Yeah.
And the guy ended up having a dealership, a
Mhm.
used car dealership, in a town about 40 miles north of us.
Mhm.
And so we hopped in the Grand Am, and we drove up there.
Mhm.
You know, he told us to come check it out. And we get there, and it's like, oh, it's a dealership, you
Yeah.
know. So me and the old man, we started
Yeah.
trade him this Pontiac for it, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
and
get
and that's
it a
what
good
we
way,
did.
yeah.
We traded him straight across.
Okay.
The Pontiac Grand Am 4-cylinder, you know,
Nice.
for 55 Bel Air.
Hey,
And,
biggest come up of the century right there.
Man.
Ain't no better deals than that.
Yeah, yeah. And it had a 327 in it,
Mhm.
and Muncie 4-speed, which it still has the 4-speed.
Mhm.
And you know, we took it home, and that was my car I drove in high school, and
That's what's
I
up.
blew up the 327,
Yeah.
and blew the rear end out of it, and you know, all that shit that
Mhm.
I fucked up on it.
Mhm.
The old man was like, "You're gonna fix it," and that's where I really just like started to get an appreciation and like love for like fixing like this old car.
Yeah.
You know, like break something, fix it, get
Mhm.
it back on the road.
Get
You
it
know,
back
it's
on
like
the
I
road.
did that. I'm the reason why this is driving down the street. You know,
Yes.
like that's real cool.
And that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Like I was born too late. I was born too late. Like,
Shit, I was too, man. I mean,
I was born too late, man. Like you get a 55 nowadays, you might as well buy a house.
yeah.
So that's what's up though. Cause I never did ask you about that about the 55. I just always see you in it. But yeah, that's cool. I was talking to I remember talking to my dad when I first like started my build on my car, and he was always like supportive of it.
Yeah.
But like I know in the back of his mind he thought I was crazy for trying to rebuild a car that's older than he is.
Yeah.
And but I always
might be.
like oh yeah 100%. I'm out of my mind, bro. Like that. Like now that like I see like when between the time I first saw that car and now owning that car, I'm kind of like why am I doing this? Every time I have to buy parts and put something on and it doesn't fit, I got to go back again. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself?
Because it's in you.
But it's in me, and
Yeah.
I can't let it not get done.
Exactly.
I went to a roundup in April, and there were so many 61 Chevys out there, and
Yeah.
I was like, I'm about to leave and just go work on mine. Like I don't even want to sit and look. I just want to just get the inspiration and go back and do it. But so that's like even just like hearing stories like that from people like you, like it really does keep me going, and I like that. Like I said, like places like this exist because outside of someone bringing a car in here and paying you to do work on it, like seeing you out in the 55, seeing people out and about in old cars and at places like Roundup and just general cruises, like I know just speaking for me, that keeps me going.
Yeah.
So I know for a fact, just like all the guys that are out there really in the streets, really cruising, really building cars, like that's big for the culture in general.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I like to do I don't know if you see all of them on my Instagram, but I like to make people choose things.
Yeah.
I like to put people in a corner.
Right.
I've never been into sports when I was growing up, but I always see people debating football, basketball, everything like that. I can't debate none of that stuff, but I can kind of debate cars a little bit.
All right.
Until I mess up talking about Chevelles, and then they put me in the ground for that one. I swear, I had to turn the comments off on it. But I like to, and I also like to just hear like people's opinions about stuff that may not be on my radar, but it might mean something to somebody else. And I always ask everybody, like, if you could put top 5 together.
Yeah.
No budget, no restrictions. What would you put in top 5?
My top 5 cars.
Top 5 cars.
Yeah.
Cars, trucks.
Well, I'm pretty lucky because I got my 55.
Yeah, that's one.
That's one of them. And my 72 Cheyenne C10. That was always my favorite truck. So then I guess that's 2 there. So
they don't have to be in order. No order.
So my dad, he had a 67 GT 500.
Okay.
That he told me so many stories about.
Yeah.
427, dual 4 barrels, 4-speed.
Okay.
And I'm not a Ford guy at all, but that's the one Ford that I would go for, man. 67 GT 500.
Okay. It's a good year.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there was a kid in high school that had a 69 Roadrunner. Okay. That was just, I mean, at 440, it was bad fast, man. Nice. I mean, it was the fastest car in town when I was in high school. Yeah. And that, getting to drag race him in high school, like, dang. No. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dave. What's up?
How y'all feeling? Sorry.
No, you good. We keeping all this. We keeping all this.
It's fucking Dave.
I'm not cutting.
That's what we call him.
I'm putting the conversion kit in the Falcon real quick.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
How you doing?
Good.
So that's what? That's 4?
Yeah.
Is that 4? So you got one more?
Yeah. And that dude with that Roadrunner just blew the doors off everybody, man. And it was incredible. So I always had a thing for 69 Roadrunner.
Okay.
And then I've looked at this question when you sent it to me, and I started thinking about it. And this is like completely oddball, but Sammy Swindell's TMC #1 sprint car from like late 80s, early 90s. It's like my all-time favorite sprint car that's ever existed. Even though Sammy Swindell is not my favorite person in the world, that car was fucking cool. It was like, just jet black, gold leaf #1 on the wing. Yeah. All the lettering was in gold leaf. It was just a beautiful car. So is that 5?
I think that's 5. That's 5 right there. That's a hard 5 right there.
Yeah.
That's a hard 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mine changes every week.
It changes.
Mine changes every week. But I think the one car that's always gonna be in there is a Porsche 911.
Yeah.
Always gonna be in there. Either a 993 or a 991 or a 9. These fucking Porsche has the naming convention. It's German. It's German. So
we don't work on that European stuff.
It's
That's
German.
Why I couldn't keep them straight.
Yeah. Because you get in your head about it because like Porsche people are like some of the most like particular people in the world. Yeah. So you get one letter wrong, and it's like you might as well just go off the grid as far as they're concerned. But yeah, 993, 991 are my 2 favorite generations. Right. 993 was the one that was when I was born, and then 991 I feel like it's just like the pinnacle of the design. 992 is great. Of course, if I could get a 992, amazing. Yeah. But if I could choose, I'd get a 991, the second producing of them, like the 991.2 of a GT3. Yeah. And that's it. That's it. Shit. It wouldn't be #1 because my #1 is the 62 Bubble Top Bel Air. Yeah. That's the best car ever. That's the coolest car ever. #3 probably be Ferrari F430.
Yeah.
The kind, it's like the poor man's Ferrari almost. Like it's one of the most attainable ones.
I don't think you could be a poor man and buy one.
Especially not when it catches on fire.
Yeah.
So you're gonna need to be a little bit more than a poor man.
Yeah.
4 and 5, they always get changed, but I think the last two would have to be a G-Body Monte Carlo SS,
Yeah.
86, 87.
Yeah, I love those too.
I like those a lot.
There's so many of those when I was in high school.
They were dogs when they were out,
Yeah.
but like the style is
Yeah,
perfect.
you
They look like
rip that
NASCAR.
305, man.
Man, a dog. Lawnmowers are faster than those, man. Like it's about the styling with those. I think
No,
for me.
dude, yeah, they're
It's
fucking
all
cool,
about the
man.
style. I think it's just cool. They look like NASCARs.
Yeah.
Those are cool. My last one, I wanted to be a truck so bad, but I'm only into like OBS Chevys and like the 70s C10s.
Yeah.
But I think my last one, I feel like I'm under so much pressure. It don't even matter. Honestly, man, my last one would probably be a 67 Chevelle.
Yeah.
I like that. That's my favorite year of Chevelle.
Yeah.
And I know most people like a 70 more than
Yeah.
anything, but 67 was
Yeah,
a
that's
good.
68, right?
Hey, man, 67 was such an underrated year for so many cars. Besides the Mustang, I think that's the only car that like got recognition for
Yeah.
67. But the 67 Impala is nice, and the 67
Yeah.
Chevelle are good
Yeah.
designs. So
Yeah.
I think that'll be the top 5 for me. Do you have a favorite car that you've like built or serviced here? Even if it was like your own or anything like that?
Man, this Chevelle's been my favorite.
Yeah.
So far, cut the floors out,
Yeah.
rewired it all. Did everything on it.
Yeah.
And the 572, it doesn't hurt.
A beast.
either,
I'm putting the clip in.
Yeah,
At this because I took a video of it when I
that
was here.
one. That one's definitely up there. We had a 65 fastback Mustang that was really nice.
Okay.
That we did all ride tech suspension on it and put a sniper on it, and then I did all stainless dual exhaust on it. That
Nice.
came out really nice, and it was a ton of work, but
Yeah.
but the end result was pretty cool.
Okay.
Nice. But yeah, man. I mean, they all kind of. There's some that you just can't wait till they leave,
Yeah.
because they're so far gone,
Yeah.
and you do everything you can to try and get it there, but it the funds aren't there,
Yeah.
or it's just it takes so much money that it's not worth it, and that's kind of it's heartbreaking to the customer, and it's
Yeah.
heartbreaking to me too.
Well, it's like we were talking earlier. It's like everything gets so out of control like these days. Like I mean, of course, like 2020 was kind of when it all spiraled out of control, and like not even just to get into specifics, but like some parts that you will look at 6 months later will be hundreds of dollars more than they were before then.
Or unavailable.
Yeah, or
know?
not even
Like,
that's, in my opinion, that's even worse. Like when you finally get the money for it, and it's like, well,
you can't get.
we're on back order for 3 months.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
now, that's why like I apply to anybody now, whether you are on a budget or if you just high dollar, because that's the one obstacle that no matter what your budget is, you're running into that obstacle of like, yes, it's getting more expensive, but it's also getting less and less available.
Oh yeah.
Not because they're not making it, but it's just because they can't keep up anymore. It seems like it's impossible for them to keep up production wise. So that's a big, like, if I could give anybody a tip as a person that's not a professional, is like super plan everything, because it's just like you never know. Like that one part you're looking at that was $1,000 can be $1,800.
Yeah.
And by the time you get ready to ride it.
So
So
flip of a switch, man.
it's This one has been fun to me. I ain't gonna lie. I've been doing these polls on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And basically just picking either two cars that I saw in an article somewhere, or just two random things that I think about, or if I see people in the YouTube comments debating, I'll take it to my Instagram story. But it's I like to call it "Which One You Taking?"
Okay.
And it's basically where I just choose two things. It can either be two cars or two kind of car subjects, or two car kind of topics, and I just want to know which one you're taking. So the first one is kind of ridiculous. I don't think it would ever happen, but for I guess just to keep it easy, we'll say for a project car, would you rather have a minivan with a big block or a Chevelle with a 4-cylinder?
Minivan with a big block.
Minivan with a big block.
I mean, does it come that way? Can I change things in them? You know.
Basically,
because
which one would you rather have to build? You have to build it this way.
Which one would I have to build?
And assuming that it was all possible in this dream world, where you could fit a big block in a minivan.
Man. I mean, you could rear mount it, you know, and just make it do wheel stands.
Hey, then it'd be good for the track.
That'd be badass, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with the minivan.
Big block minivan. Big block minivan. Somebody need to work on that. Before we go full EV, I need my big block minivan. I think I'm gonna go.
Busty Morris has a minivan that we could probably talk him into doing it.
Get him on the podcast immediately, because we need this to happen. I don't have the budget for it. I don't know, man. I like looking cool, and of course, a big block minivan. Once you hear it, it's gonna look cool.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be hard for me to not take the inline 4 Chevelle.
Because you can haul more chicks in the minivan, though.
I don't got that. I don't got that option no more. If you would have hit me in 2017 through 21, I don't got that option no more. Now it's just gonna be dogs and cats. In the back with me and my girl. So
more dogs and cats.
Inline 4 Chevelle, man, getting 30 miles to the gallon. But making no noise out here. Making no noise. This one is easier. 1996 Impala SS or Mercury Marauder?
Impala.
Yeah. I
All
like those
all day
Impalas.
long, man.
I like those.
Yeah.
Tim Allen had one. I remember he was in the the promo stuff for him.
Yeah.
And they had his, but his was a 95, and they showed him making passes at a drag strip.
Yeah, man.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Impala.
Yeah.
I'm going with Impala. I think Marauders are cool, but they just look like grandpa cars. They look cool, and they sound good too.
But they didn't make the Dale Earnhardt edition, man.
They did not. No, they did not. So this one, I actually put another version of this one on my Instagram, and it was, would you rather have a Chevy 450? Now this is old school too, by the way. An old school Chevy 454 or the Buick Oldsmobile Pontiac 455?
Man, that's tough. Probably 455, just because it's you know, a little oddball, you know, and
that
not
it is
not as common as just a 454.
That it is. If I budget unlimited, time unlimited, I do 455. I could probably get it in a cooler car.
Yeah.
All right, this one is I don't know if these are equal to be compared, but would you rather have a Malaise era car, 1973 to 79, oil crisis American car, or modern day EV car?
Oh, no EVs. Man.
No EVs?
No,
EVs?
Hell no.
I was trying to see if I can get I need a reaction out of you for the clips with these.
No, man. Can't do it.
No EVs. No. Yeah, I got to say the same. There's some good stuff between 73 and 79.
Yeah, man.
There's still good stuff in between there. It might have been a dog because of the politics of it, but still cooler than an EV. Yeah. Still looks cooler.
Yeah, man.
And this way you can swap it.
A 73 C10, badass, man.
Yeah. There's stuff in there that can get the job done better than
EV.
For sure. This one is I actually had some people DM me about this one. An old school small block 383 or an LS 53
383, man. Yeah.
Old school.
Yeah, man.
Old school 383.
That's my jam, dude.
Yeah. That's the one that's like, you know, that's the OG, like.
Yeah,
the
man.
OG
So it's like the,
Yeah.
you know, naturally aspirated thing
Yeah.
you're talking about. You know,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know.
I always like that range of like small block with the big block numbers though.
Oh yeah.
It's a cool little
Yeah,
combination.
we had a 55 with a small
Okay.
block 454.
Nice.
Come through here.
That's
man.
crazy.
It was nuts, dude.
That's crazy. How do you do
We
that?
had to pull the oil pan on it,
Uh-huh.
and like, I mean, you got clearance everything.
Yeah.
The oil pan rails were like, I mean, like that thin in places, you know, where the rods had to clear. So
Yeah.
the gaskets were all cut. You know, it leaked like hell, but
Yeah.
man, it run like a son of a bitch.
What was it in? Oh, 55.
A 55, yeah.
Was it a
Yeah.
space thing? Why he chose that instead of an actual 454?
I don't know. This kid just bought it.
Yeah.
That way.
That's
man.
crazy.
Yeah. He had a lot to learn about that car. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like straight up pro street.
Man.
You know, like
Yeah.
full size slicks.
Well, I guess
under it.
weight then.
You
Weight was
know.
probably the determinant thing.
Yeah, I mean, a
Yeah.
55 is a big ass heavy
Yeah.
car. You know.
Probably a weight thing. Yeah. Man,
But yeah, it was wild.
that is. Yeah, but I agree though. Like, I kind of in that with that specific one. Yeah, I take the old school 383
Yeah.
over the 5.3 turned to a 383.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like LSs. They're cool. It's part of.
It doesn't look as cool.
It
though,
doesn't-
Man,
it doesn't-
With the intake manifold
Yeah.
and carburetor
Yeah.
sitting on it, you know.
It doesn't look
like,
as
It doesn't look as classic.
doesn't look as classic. Doesn't look as
I keep
mechanical.
telling people,
as
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't look as mechanical.
Yeah.
I think it fits in some applications. I guess if that's your goal to make the new school look old school.
For sure,
but,
man.
You know,
It's all got its time and place.
I'm
you know.
I'm a tech guy, so I'm a big fan of the LS and how efficient it is. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
It reminds the LS is like if my brain was an engine, it'd be an LS.
Yeah.
Just how to get the same thing in efficiently.
Fucking Dave.
I love it. I love it. I got it.
It probably takes the
We got Dave on the bloopers over there. Dave giving me my reels content. Man. All right, that's cool, man. Like, I like that. Which one you taking? But yeah, man. I appreciate you sitting down and talking to me for a little bit.
Thank you.
Like I said, man. Anybody keeping these cars on the road, man, I appreciate you.
Shit,
I appreciate you. Like, cause it's one of those things. Like, and my girl will tell you all I talk about is cars. Like what I would do if I had this money, I'd do this. If I had this car, I'd do that. And it just comes from like finally being in a space where that's happening around me.
Right.
And like I said, back when I was back home, like it was happening, but no one was like saying, "Hey, come on."
Yeah,
in.
man.
Like, you know.
Austin is kind of special that way, you know, where, you know, like back home for me, like, you know, a lot of the car shows were a lot of older people, you know, and when I got to Austin, you know, I was like, I started working in a hot rod shop right away, and it was like, Kurt, who works for me, he worked there too, and I was like, wow, man, there's all these people that are into like cool music and cars, you know, like I didn't have that at home. Like anybody that was into cool music, wasn't into cars. I was like the only one, you know. And then like I go to like a car show or whatever, and it's just people I couldn't really relate to. And then I got here and was like, man, this is like out of this fucking world, man. You know,
Man, Tough Enough is
awesome.
the epitome of
Dude, it's
cool
so
cars and cool
fun,
music.
man.
Now I'm glad we talked about this. 'Cause I saw something that kind of blew my mind a little bit. I think it was not the last one. It might have been the one before that. It was one of the more recent Tough Enough meets.
Yeah.
I look on the flyer thing, and he posted it, and it said like, "Oh, we're gonna." It's like the regular like park and hang flyer.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it said DJ,
Yeah,
and then it said
man.
Caps service
yeah.
and repair. And
Me
I was
and my
like,
buddy Ed DJ'd it.
and
we
I
just
was
brought
like-
a bunch of records down, you know.
I looked at it. I said, "Now wait, is this means they're gonna have another DJ, or is Caps gonna be DJ?" and I remember, like, I think I was at work when I saw it, so I was like, I didn't think nothing of it. And then I missed that meet. And then I see this dude in a Celtics jersey.
Yeah,
DJing,
man.
and I was like, ain't no way. I was like, ain't no way.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I should be beefing with this dude because I'm a Lakers fan.
See, my dad was. That's
yeah.
why I'm a Celtics
I was
fan.
like, we should be beefing, but I didn't know he was a DJ, and that's cool to me. I used to make beats.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't do nothing like that. I
No.
play one song and then play another song, you
That's
know,
cool.
and just kind of make it all sound
Did cars
good.
kind of get you into that too?
No,
was music
man.
always just a thing?
I just always been into music since I was a kid. I played
Yeah.
in bands and stuff, you know, and for a long time.
Yeah.
And started collecting records when I was a kid, you know, and still nerd out on.
Yeah.
Dude, like, this is my problem. Like, I get obsessed with shit, you know. I get obsessed with records, guitars, cars, motorcycles, you know, and it's like I just have to amass all this shit. And
Yes.
like,
Yes.
so yeah, man, you know, I talked to Michael about DJing one of them, and he hit me up and he's like, I talked to Ed, who I used to be in a band with. I want to get both of you guys a DJ, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, man.
That was up.
Yeah, it
That
was
was up.
fun, man. They played a movie, you know, and it was a real good time.
Yeah, that's what's up,
Yeah.
man. I like that.
Yeah.
Cause music and cars, like, they went hand in hand for me.
Oh, for sure, man.
When I was young, my parents hated that I like rap music. They hated it. If my mama was listening to music, it was either blues or gospel.
Yeah.
And my dad, same thing. It was either just blues or like old school R&B. And so they hated that I love rap music.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to listen to the dirtiest rap music possible. Like I don't want nothing bleeped out. Give me as they wrote it. That's how I want to hear it. And they hated it. I listened to it. And I remember I used to sneak my uncle. He used to always have the old like Cash Money tapes, the mixtapes. And but he left them all in my grandma's house. So I would get them and try to listen to them. And my dad would always catch me trying to listen to them and take them from me.
Oh, man.
And, you know, the older I got, the more I found ways to kind of sneak it in and listen to it. But that's all they rapped about was cars, you know, having cars, all these different kind of cars. Yeah. And, like, so I was, no matter what I did, I couldn't escape cars. Because even as, you know, music, I love to read, so naturally I read car stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like loving, you know, movies. So I watch car movies. It's like I can't escape it no matter where I go.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely the same way where it's like I'm fixated on something. If I can attach my personality to it, I'm on it.
Hell
like
yeah,
I'm never letting it go.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, like that was cool to me. I was like, I gotta bring this up because
man.
Because I hadn't, that came out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
I want to do it again, man.
That's what's up. I'm gonna be there next time. I'm gonna be there next time for sure. I'm actually going to the one this Monday. I don't know if I'm gonna put this out by the time, but I'll be at the one next
tomorrow.
Monday. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool, man. Where can they find you on social media or website or anything?
Instagram, Cap Service and Repair.
Okay.
That's just how it's spelled.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put it out here on the screen.
Yeah, and then there's a Facebook page.
Okay.
We have Google listing or whatever, but I need to get a real website.
Yeah.
That's not me. Instagram's like complicated enough.
That's a website these days.
Yeah,
the way it is on there. Yeah, man, that's what's up. Again, man, I appreciate you for talking for me for a little bit.
Yeah.
This is the second episode, Cars on Camera.
Hell yeah, man.
It's been going good so far. I'm trying to be more consistent with it and drop at least once a month.
Yeah,
cool. And just give people some insight to cool people that do car stuff, man. So yeah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate y'all for supporting the podcast, supporting the photos and everything I do. We'll catch y'all on the next one.